doing that is no matter how slow we go, it's different once you actually start creating your Flipgrid, and once you start doing these things, you think like, oh man, I wish I would have remembered what he said here, or I wish I could have this. So what we're doing is we're recording all of these and we are putting them on our YouTube channel. We've got so far, how many videos do we have on there now? We've got maybe 6 or 7. So if you, we'll send out the link for that as well. We've got videos on how to create a Google Classroom, how to do a Flipgrid, all kinds of things. Hey, Thomas, how's it going? Admit that now. Okay. So if you have any questions, again, just shoot them in the chat, and we're going to go ahead and get started now. Let me go ahead and share my screen with everybody. Okay, so what we are going over today is Flipgrid, or during this session, is Flipgrid. And what's really nice about Flipgrid, what's really great about that, Manny, can y'all see my screen? Is it coming up? Okay. So what's really great about Flipgrid is there are so many different ways that it can be used that really, we can't go over every single thing that Flipgrid does because we would seriously be here all day. But what's really great about it is because it is so versatile that any kind of content level and any grade level and content level, you can find reasons or ways for you to use this for your class. So I'm going to bounce back and forth between Flipgrid, actual Flipgrid, and then we also did a pop-up PD on Flipgrid not too long ago. We did it in November. Really quickly, I'll show you guys just some of the different ways that people have used Flipgrid before. And I'm going to give you guys access to this presentation as well. That way y'all can see it on your own time. But you can use this for book talks. You can go over current historical events, quote analysis, language learning. If you're looking to meet with your students or have question and answer sessions, you can have an ongoing Flipgrid where they can go and record themselves asking questions for you. And then you can go and record your answers to them. There's all different kinds of ways that we can do this. So I'm going to go back here to Flipgrid. When we're getting into Flipgrid, what you always want to do is Educator Login. And this is for us to create our own Flipgrids and so to run them as your class. So you always want to go to Educator Login. And once it loads, hopefully it doesn't take too long, you don't want to do this down here. Down here where it says email address, password, all that, you don't want to do that. What we're always going to do is our ECISD Google login. So you're always going to click that Google login button, and then it should come up that it's your @ecisd.school. If it doesn't, then you just do a quick login first.last @ecisd.school. The reason that we want to do that is because it keeps everybody in. We've all got the same logins. We've all got the same thing. And you don't have to remember any passwords or anything for it, because all it does is it links that Flipgrid information and profile to your ECISD Gmail profile. So they're always together. So you don't have to remember. You don't have the added stress of remembering a password or anything or forgetting that password. You just always got that for you. So in Flipgrid, once we're in, this is what it kind of looks like on the teacher end, right? So these are the different grids that I've either created or that I've been a part of this year, right? So I've been using Flipgrid quite a bit this year. The one that I used last year for my own class and students, I actually did it. I didn't do it with my ECISD Gmail. I did it with my ECISD actual email login. And so that I don't have all of that anymore. But this is all the ones that I've been doing with my ECISD Gmail. And so what we'll do right now is I want to go ahead and show you guys how to create a grid and also show you right here on this My Activity. Once you have your grid created, if you go to this My Activity, you can look at all of your stats and you can look at when's the last time your students have added a video, right? So this makes it a little bit easier for you to look at the most recent videos that have been submitted, right? So we'll go back here to My Grids. And how we do this is we go to Add New Grid. And the big thing is you want to name it something that is going to differentiate it and make your student, that's something that's easy for your students to remember and understand, and it kind of differentiates it if you're going to have multiple grids. So there are a bunch of different ways that you can create these grids, and it kind of just depends on what you want. So what we have, if you're an elementary teacher, right, or if you've just got one group of kids and you're not going to create multiple one, you might do like, Bartlett Spring 2020. And that way it's just, this is the one class I have, this is what it is, and we've got that. But if you're secondary, if you've got more than one class of students, then you might make a grid for each period that you have. So I might do, Bartlett ELAR first, or not second, first period, and then that way I can make one for first period, second period, third period. You don't have to do it this way, but the same thing with Google Classroom. It's really good to figure out how you want to organize your Flipgrid. You want to kind of figure that out before you start creating them, because you want to know, how am I going to do this? What is my organization going to be? And am I going to have all of my students in one grid, or am I going to have a specific grid for each class period, so that I can that helps to split up your students and makes it a little bit easier for you, without having to look at maybe 120 student submissions all at once. You only have to look up maybe 20 or 30 in each grid and just have multiple grids. So that's up to you, however you want to do it. So I'm going to leave it like that, Bartlett ELAR first period. Then the big thing, and this is a huge one, is you want to do it by school email. That's the grid type you want to do. We don't want to do it by ID, because then we have to create the list. So if you look right here, if you do student ID, you have to create the list of student IDs that join your grid. That's a lot of work on your end that you have to do that is really unnecessary. We don't have to do that. We also don't want to make it public. We don't want to make it to where anybody can get access to it. So what we do when we select the school email one is, what it does is it shows, we're going to give the domain name, and so anybody with an @ecisd.school is able to join the grid. So what that does is it makes sure that only ECISD students are able to join the grid. And then because you're only sharing this, either on your Remind or your Classroom or whatever, those will be the only students that have your code anyway. So you can, on your flip code, you can either give the one that they already give to you. So they give Bartlett 1127 is the one they created for me, or I can try to create my own. If you think you can create one that's a little bit more personal and individual that your students will be able to remember, so I could just do see if it's Bartlett Spring. So that one works. So I can change my own flip code however you want to do it, or I could do see if I could do Bartlett. So I can't do Bartlett 2020, but maybe I could do Bartlett Spring 2020. Yeah, so I could do that. So it's however you want to do it on that end. So I'm just going to take Bartlett Spring, right? So then I'm going to click Next. Now, because we did at the school email, it wants to know which domain we want to let students in from. So all you'll do on this end is, because I've already created grids, it already has this for me. But let's say that I don't. So you guys are going to be creating, a lot of you are going to be creating grids for the first time. What you're going to add is just @ecisd.school and then press enter. So now that means anytime that a student attempts to join this Flipgrid, they've got to do it with their ECISD Gmail, which is their ID number @ecisd.school. So what we've done is we've made it just now where it's not public, but we're not having to do a bunch of work on our front end or on our back end. We just do this, and now students can join without us having to add their IDs. So then we're going to click Next. So now this is what's really nice about Flipgrid, and a lot of things now. Google Classroom has become so kind of ubiquitous in education. A lot of people are using it constantly. We've got it. It's pretty much integrates into anything right now, because it's such a easy LMS that a lot of school districts have taken to, that pretty much anything integrates with it. And so Flipgrid is one thing that integrates with it, right? So what you can do is, if you already have your Google Classrooms classes created, since you're already logged into Flipgrid using your ECISD Gmail, all you have to do is click Share to Classroom. And what this is going to do is it's going to have a pop-up, and I can choose any of my classes that I've already got created. So I can choose any of these, And that makes it a lot easier because what it'll do, so I'm going to click Bartlett Spring 2020, and I want it to make an announcement. I just want to make an announcement that, hey guys, I've created a Flipgrid converse for this class. And so what it'll do is I'll just click go here, and I can just say, good morning, everyone. Please follow this link to access the Flipgrid I've created for this class. Please sign in using your ECISD Gmail. And then on here, I might even just let them know, and I'm sure they know already, but just doesn't help or doesn't hurt to let them know it's ID number at ecisd.school. So then I'll just click post. And so now that's been posted to my class. So I can view it and make sure that that's what's happened. So now whenever I look, it's here for me. It's already done for me, everything. I don't have to do anything else to share it to my Google Classroom. It's done pretty much everything for me. I think, especially with how much we're going to be relying on Google Classroom throughout this whole ordeal, and who knows how long it's going to last, we're going to be using Google Classroom a lot more than we already were using it. So I think it's really nice to be able to just share it just like that. But if you want to do it other ways, let's say that you don't actually have your Google Classroom, like you can do it on Remind as well. I don't have a Remind set up, but it's the same exact thing. You would just click share on Remind, and then it would do everything. It would do the same thing for you. So I don't have an account, but if I did have an account, I would log in. I would share this with my students. It does it automatically. Or if you want to just copy the link and share it like that, you can do that as well. So there's a lot of different ways to get this out to your parents and your students so that they can join the grid. And it's all pretty much just up to you. However you're running your classes, do it that way. So then this is what it looks like once we've got our grid created, right? So to explain a grid and a topic, let me just kind of slow down for a second and explain that. So a grid is where all your topics would be housed. So let's say like the grid is essentially the classroom. So we want to give all of our students the ability to join this classroom, right? But they're not going to be able to do anything if I don't have assignments for them. So the topics would be your assignments, right? So the grid is the classroom, the topics are the assignments. What's really nice about, so the same thing as Google Classroom, you can add teachers and you can have co-teachers within your Google Classroom. You can do the same thing with Flipgrid. I can add a co-pilot. So if I wanted to add Amanda right now, I could just do Amanda.Weber, Weber at ecisd.school, and I can invite her. And so now she's going to get an invite that Christopher Bartlett has invited her to join his grid as a co-pilot, right? What your co-pilots can do, what's really nice about this is if you're planning as a department or as a grade level or however y'all are doing things and you want to be able to kick things out or share things, having co-pilots helps a lot because one person can post into the class and then the other co-pilots can see and they can just take it from there or however you guys want to do it. A lot of people do this. I know whenever I did this with my AEC teachers, my history teachers at AEC, they were going to do this a lot because they really relied on each other a lot for planning and for utilizing lessons. So they did a lot of co-teaching, co-piloting whenever it came to this kind of stuff. So you don't have to have a co-pilot, but you can if you would like to, right? So now when we're going to add a topic, so let's say that the first topic we want to do is, and we can just do quick introduction, right? You can decide how long you want your students to record. So it's up to 5 minutes and as little as 15 seconds. A lot of times what teachers will say is, I'm going to give you up to 2 minutes. You don't have to do that whole time. But like any other assignment, you've got some kids who are going to turn in the bare minimum and some kids who are going to try to go above and beyond. So you want to really figure out what you think the best time limit is for this, because you don't want to just have every kid rambling on for 5 minutes about, a quick introduction. 5 minutes isn't really what we need for there. I would say maybe a minute, minute and a half, right? So I would select a minute and a half. Here's my title, and then I want to give them, there are a couple of ways I can do this. So I can type out, so I could say, take some time and record a quick introduction of yourself for the rest of the class. And that's all I've got to say. But what I can also do is if I want to, I can give them the directions just by typing them out. But what I can also do is I can record a video myself. So I'm going to allow this. So I can record a video of myself giving them directions. So what I would do is, good morning, everybody. I wanted you to take some time really quickly and introduce yourself to the rest of the class. Get kind of familiar with Flipgrid, play around with the different features and see what it has to offer. And so that you have a better handle on it whenever we start getting into the actual assignments. Okay, thank you. So when I'm done, I just hit this pause button. So what's really nice about Flipgrid is if I want to do multiple takes or if I want to change something up, I can pause it, kind of, take a breath, do whatever I need to do, and then I can pick it up again. And so as soon as I hit the record, it starts recording again. You can also do, this shows you the different features that it has, right? So there are filters right here. And I'd imagine a lot of your students are going to play with these just to kind of get interested in it and just kind of see what it has to offer. So you can do different filters to show, black and white. You can also do pixelated, right? So there's that. And if I want to take all of them off, I just do that and it clears my filters. I can add text to my screen, right? Let's see. So when I add my text, it's like this. So I just add my text, just do it like that. You can also add stickers. You can search. A lot of them are emojis, right? So however you want to do that. The big thing that a lot of people, and I think math, science, a lot of people will use is this board. You can do a whiteboard or a blackboard. And what this allows students and teachers to do is, let's say I want them to, not only do I want them to work out, a math problem, I want them to explain how they're doing that. So what they would do is they would turn on the whiteboard or the blackboard, whichever one, and then they would record while they're doing. And so if they're using their phone, they probably are going to use their finger and have a little bit better grasp with it. So maybe I'll have them do, 4 plus 4, I'm sorry, equals 8. And then maybe I want them to explain how they got to that, right? And so once they're done with that, you can clear the board and we can go to, there's also, you can add photo stickers as well. A lot of different stuff you can do with it. But then I'm going to go next. Let's say I'm done with my video and I want to send it. You can go back. You can go back and you can look at your video and make sure that you're happy with it. Then before you can send in your video, you have to take a selfie. You have to have a thumbnail for that video. So this is what a lot of people will do, is they'll take a picture. So I can either just send it in like this, or what some people will do and some of your students might do is get an emoji, and a lot of times they'll put it over their face like that. You can decide whether or not you want to allow that or not. A lot of teachers end up just allowing it because it gets their students, a lot of times what they're looking at is they want their students to interact with it more, and this is a small thing that kind of allows them to be more comfortable and to interact with it more, and they don't feel like they're just kind of vulnerable with a picture of their face, right, that anybody can see. So then what we can do is we'll hit next. It's going to prepare our video for us. I'm going to complete that. Now this is, now all I would do is select this, and now I can delete this right here, or I can leave it. but now I've got written directions and I've got video directions for my students to see both times. Before you send in your topic, you want to click down here at more options, because I want you all to feel we're going to be relying on this a lot, and the students are very smart, and they kind of take this and end up running with it. They do really well. Students do really well with Flipgrid. But because it is online and it's a means of communication, sometimes students kind of abuse the system. So I want you guys to be able to have all the tools you need to make sure that your Flipgrids have a small chance of that you're able to kind of monitor that and moderate it at a high level. So what we can do here, down here, you can add an attachment if you want. So if I've got links that I feel like my students need to look at, I can add the link here, and then this gives a description. So like here, I would do maybe, I want you guys to be able to see this. So I'm going to get my link here. You can view this, and then I would go back here, copy my link in here, and I would say pop-up PL Flipgrid. So now whenever I send this in, if you click pop-up PL Flipgrid, then it's going to take you to that link, right? Here's what I want you guys to see. Video moderation. If you do not have video moderation on, when students submit their videos, it goes automatically to the Flipgrid and anybody can see them. What's good about that is a lot of people will, or a lot of teachers, what they'll do is, okay, I want you to answer the question, and then I want you to respond to two of your classmates who have answered the question, right? So it's really good to get that kind of interaction with your students by letting the videos just go there automatically. But if you feel like you're going to have students who maybe push the boundaries in the beginning, or you kind of want to give yourself some time to really set the rules, then what I would do is I would turn on video moderation. So all that does is it makes it to where instead of the video posting for everybody to see automatically, you're the only one that sees it in the beginning. And then you decide whether it needs to be, whether the student should have to redo it, or if it can be posted for everybody to see. And that's kind of up to you, however you want to do it. What a lot of teachers will do is in the beginning, they'll start off with no student-to-student replies and no video video moderation. I'm sorry, because it gives them some time to really build the citizenship level of this, of what we're doing with Flipgrid, and making sure that the students understand this is the behavior that I'm going to expect from you, and I need you to take this seriously. And so you can use that as a way of like, okay, if you guys show me that you can handle this and that you can do well, I'll take off moderation and I'll let you start replying to each other's videos. I don't know necessarily if we're in a position like that right now, but it's up to you. However you want to do it, and whatever you think your kids are ready for whenever it comes to Flipgrid, go ahead and do that. So right now I've got video moderation on, but I've also got student-to-student replies on. So I can turn that off or I can leave it on. I would probably leave it on maybe right now, because if I've got video moderation, then if they're being posted for everybody to see, I'm trusting them. I've already seen the video, so I think that they're doing well. And then I can allow them to reply to each other if they want to, or if I make it part of the assignment. With these topics, because these are assignments, you can set times for them to go live and times for them to freeze, right? So the default is active. That means everybody can see it and everybody can submit their video to it. But what I can do over here is I can schedule a launch and a freeze date. What the freeze date will do is, let's say I want to launch it for tomorrow. I want to launch it for tomorrow, and then I want to freeze it on April 1st. So what that'll do is on April 1st, nobody else, or after April 1st, nobody else will be able to look at, or nobody else will be able to send in an assignment on that or send in a video. The topic gets frozen and nothing else can happen with it. Once something is frozen, you can unfreeze it. So don't feel like, oh, this is it. No, you can unfreeze it. You can also hide it once you're done with it completely if you feel like you've got too much kind of taking up space. if you're not going to go back to the assignment, if you're done with it, you can hide it. That way it doesn't show up to the students, and they only focus on what you've got going on at the time. On your video features, so you can set up where you want your students to do selfies and video, selfies only, videos only, or none. And that's where they can add filters, stickers, drawing, and text to their videos and selfies. So if you want them to only be able to edit their selfies, then you can click selfies only. If you only want them to be able to edit their videos, you can do videos only. If you don't want them to be able to edit anything, you would click none. Or if you want them to be able to edit both, you would do selfies and videos. And again, this is all teacher preference. If this is something that you think is going to be a little bit more distracting, then you might just take it off, or you might, instead of taking it off completely, you might make it just like, okay, your videos, I need you to be very serious, but on your selfie, you can play around, or you can do it where on your videos, you can kind of play around and do this, but on your selfie, I want to see your face. That way I know who I'm looking at and what's going on here. You can also take out video editing or leave it on, however you want to do that. That just allows students to trim and rearrange. That thing I was doing earlier where I was able to pause it, that would be part of video editing. If you want them to add a title, you can have that on. The default is for them to add a video title. You don't have to. You can turn it off if you don't need them to add a title. If you don't want them to be able to add attachment links, you can turn that off. You can also turn off view counts if you want. You don't necessarily have to. It kind of just depends. I think one of the big things about Flipgrid, and one of the reasons that students respond so well to it, is the interactive qualities for it. And that's not to say that you have to keep all of them on all the time, or that like you have to have these in order for Flipgrid to work, because that's not true. I think it helps a lot, and I think students get a lot out of the interactive part because it makes them want to do the actual assignment involved with it. You don't have to do that necessarily. So if you want to turn on likes, you can. So like maybe you turn off video student-to-student replies, but you turn on likes. That way they at least have to go in and look at each other's videos, and they can kind of show each other like, oh, hey, I actually did like what you said here. I thought you did really well. Kind of however you want to do that. And then down here, you can give feedback to your students, right? So there's the basic feedback, and then there's also custom feedback. It kind of depends on how your rubric is set up and what you want to do. A lot of times feedback is based on what the students have shown you and how they performed it, like how they did with their video. Or if you want to come up with your own custom criteria, you can do that as well. You would, title the criteria, give them a description of what the criteria is, how they'll be graded on it, and then you can give them a minimum and maximum score based on how you're going to be grading this. Okay. So once we go through this, so this was kind of a lot, and I know, but I just want to, because this is where a lot of the legwork goes into creating this Flipgrid and making sure that it's successful, that you're able to roll it out successfully, and that your students are able to kind of take it and do something with it. You want to be able to, you want to know how you can edit your topic and what the best ways to do it and make it more efficient and effective. So once we're done with all that, we've got all this done, we're just going to click create topic. So our students, we've already, so here, or I'm sorry, let me go to my Google Classroom. So here I have already assigned or shown, I've done an announcement where I've told them, okay, guys, this is the code for the Flipgrid. If you follow this link and log in, then you'll be able to get into our classroom Flipgrid. That gives them access to everything. But as I'm creating topics, which are essentially assignments, you can also give them into the top, give them a code to go to the topic directly, the assignment directly. So it would be the exact same thing. So I could share it to my Google Classroom. Oh, no, wrong one. I want to do it to my Bartlett Spring. And on this one, I want to actually create an assignment. So I would do go. I'm going to create this. And then what this allows me to do is also keep up with grades on my Google Classroom that I'm taking in my Flipgrid. It's just kind of however you want to do this. When you create your due date, let's say I think I did that one on the 1st. So let me go ahead and do that one. Same thing here. So we've got that. And then I want to put that under this week. So then I would just click assign right there. And when I go to view this, it's going to take me directly to my stream. And now my assignment is right here for my students to see. So not only it'll be here in my stream, but it'll also be here in my classwork because I put it in this topic down here. So that way they can keep up with everything. And all they would do is click that and they would enter their flip code and that would be it. It would take them exactly or right where they need to be. So let me go back here. I was thinking it might, oh, okay. I was thinking it might show up on my updating since I gave it a due date. I guess not, okay. Okay, so let me go back. So now all set here. So now this is where students would record their responses down here, right? And then I would be able to, anytime they add something to it, it's going to show up here in my activity so I can see what my latest ones are. Do we have any questions so far? Anything? No. I'm going to take a just stop for a second. Does anybody have any quick questions or anything? Are we doing okay? We're all good? Okay, good deal. Okay, so what also I want to show you is I want to show you what it looks like from the student side of how this might look, right? So let me go here. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you're good. Okay, so really quickly, and like Amanda just said, I want to show you. So again, your grid is going to be, that's like essentially the classroom. That's where all of your assignments are going to be stored. And then your topic is going to be the assignment they complete while they're inside that grid. So that's going to be the difference there. Whenever you're, if your students are having trouble with that, or if y'all are having trouble with that, on that, let me go here because I've got, no, I don't want to do that. I've got one student in my classes, my Google Classroom, so I want to show y'all this. Okay, so if I'm coming from the student view, and everybody can see this, right? This is showing my Firefox. Okay. Okay. So now I'm in my student view. So what I want to do here, so I'm going to click, bless you. Oh, let's see. Let me actually just join the class. Okay, so I'm going to log in and I'm going to do it through here, through my EdTech. Okay, so now I'm a student, and this is how it looks on your students' view. So whenever they come into the classroom, I'm in Bartlett ELAR first period, and let me go. Let's see. It's not showing me everything. Let me go back here. I wonder why it's not. Amanda, do you know why it might not be showing the Flipgrid code or the flip code? Oh, because it's scheduled. That's why I scheduled it. Let me go back here. I'm sorry, guys. Let me actually edit this and unschedule it. Let me go live now. That was my fault. Just gonna take it active now. Let me update that topic. Okay, so that's what the problem Sorry about that, guys. Okay, now that it's been updated, I'm going to go here, log in with Google. Okay, so now this is what it looks like. I'm sorry about that. So as a student, there are 2 topics in there. The one that Flipgrid had initially, and then the one that my teacher, me, has posted, the quick introduction. So I can go back and forth between all of these topics. So everything that my teacher has done for me, I can look at. So I could watch the video now. So it's going to show me this video. And then also, this is what I was explaining to you with the attachments. That just shows up right there. So if I'm the student, I can just click this right here. And it's going to take me to whatever additional information my teacher has attached for me to see. So I've got that. And then what I'm going to do is down here, all I've got to do is click this plus sign, and it lets me know right off the bat that it's being moderated. So my teacher is going to have to approve it before the video gets posted to the topic. So then I would go here. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I clicked for it to do that though. So let's see. Permissions. If you previously blocked your camera or microphone, simply click on the eye icon. Let's see. Yeah, because I don't see the. That is weird. Let's see. Well, so what they would do is they would just they would do their video from here. I'm not sure why it's not letting me do it like that. Here, actually, I can just, let's see, try this one more time. Click the camera button on the left side of your browser window. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. But do you see a camera button? I know these computers have had a little bit of trouble with cameras, but okay. Permissions. It's not letting me change it. Okay. Well, for some reason, Firefox is not letting me use my camera, but they would just create their video here. And then they can also import videos. So however they want to do it, you can also upload a video from here. So if I were going to do something like that, I would just do. Oh, it might be that it's being used by, yeah. Okay, because Hangouts is using the camera. That's it. Okay. That's weird because Chrome is still letting me use it though. So because it's all Google. Yeah. Okay. So they would just do that and then they can upload it, or they can import or they can just create their video here. And then whenever they would submit it, it would go in, and I wanted to really show that. That's really frustrating. Let me see if I can do this. Amanda, can I add you to the class? And then if you want to just do a quick video, or do you want to, can I add you to the class and then you kind of take it over on your end to show them what it would look like? Let me add you. I'll add you to my Google Classroom and to my, well, I'll just add you to my Google Classroom because then you can. Okay, I'm going to take off my screen sharing, and then if you want to pick it up there, let me go back. Okay, you can pick up sharing if you want. Are you recording as well? Well, I'm recording. Yeah. Okay.
And I'll unmute. So now you'll get to see turn your volume. Now you'll get to see the student view on what it would look like. So I'm going to go to my Google Classroom. I'm going to go in a Google tab. I'm just going to open a new tab and go to my waffle and go to Google Classroom. Chris just asked me to join his class, and so it'll pop up right here and I can join his class. Okay, and so then I can find, here's the quick introduction assignment. Here is the link. It's going to open up and go to the Flipgrid, and this is where your students would need to know to log in with Google. And theirs is their ID number at ecsd.school. I'm going to pull up mine. All right, and it's taken me straight to the topic. Down here at the bottom, here's my moderated, add my response. So then I can come on, and the same process that he used to make his topic is the same process that I get to use as a student recording. So I can hit my camera, it counts it down for me. I can record my response, say, hi, this is Amanda Weber. How are you? I'm doing great. It's fun. Hey, I can add my filters, my stickers, all my fun stuff. Hit the next button and review it, which I don't want to do. And then hit next, take my selfie. Next. Okay. So this is where it lets you put it'll ask your students to do their display name. It'll pull, if you've set it up so that they're logging in with Google, it'll pull from that. If you leave the title on, this is where they can put a title. If you leave the link on in the options, this is where they can put a link. So like if they had a Google Doc or a Google slide that they were sharing with you, they could put that link in there. But then after that, they have to be sure they hit that submit video button. They have to go through all the steps. If they just record and don't hit next or anything like that, you're never going to see anything. So they'll need to hit that submit video button. It says, congrats, I did it. Woo. And I can download my video and download my selfie because I got to save it forever. Then I can hit complete. And because it's moderated, it's going to go to my teacher for him to take over. So I'm going to go back to Chris for that part, possibly.
Okay. Yeah. So whenever you stop sharing, I'll put mine back on. There we go. Okay. So let me go back here. Let me share my screen with you guys again. Thank you for doing that, Amanda. That helped out so much. I don't know why Firefox is being difficult, but yeah. Okay. So now we'll go back in here. So let me go to my grids. So now I've got 2 topics, 1 video. So here in my grid. So now I've got here, it's showing me right here that this topic's moderated and I've got something that I need to see. Let me go in and view it. Go. Okay, so it's hidden now because it's moderated, right? So I make the decision to make it active or hidden. So what I'll do is I'll click it. I can watch the video, right? I've got a rubric right now, and I can give her some feedback based on that. So right now, right here, we're in the feedback column. So you automatically can leave whatever your grading rubric is, you can leave a score there. So maybe I could do like 3 here and then 5 here. And then I could say, you know, great job, Amanda. Or if I want to go a little bit more in detail, I can do that. And what it'll do is it'll email that feedback to her because we're putting this as a school email account, right? The Flipgrid, every student that signed up for this Flipgrid or that got access to Flipgrid is doing it with their ECISD Gmail. So when I click email feedback, that's going to send it directly to her Gmail. And so they get, as soon as I send feedback to them, my students will get whatever I've left for them immediately so they can look and see kind of how we've done that or how they've done on there. I can also do, edit this if I want to. I can change things. Or if I think, hey, this is a really good one, I can share this to show people, showing my other students like, hey, look what Amanda did. This is kind of exactly what I'm asking you to do. So take some time, watch this, and use it whenever think about this whenever you're creating your own videos. But whenever I'm done, if I say, okay, Amanda did really well, I think that she can go to active now. And now if there were other students in the class, they would be able to also see Amanda's video, right? So it kind of just depends on what you're looking for, what you want, and how you're going to run your class. If you're going to use Flipgrid as a way on certain, if you're going to use certain topics as a way to keep up some kind of like classroom discussion or interaction, then yeah, I definitely think that even if you moderate it, at some point you need to make the videos active where other students can see them and interact with them. But let's say that you just want them to do maybe like a quick little assessment. Not every video needs to be seen by every student. So if I was going to do a topic assignment that was, I want you to just explain, here are 3 math problems. I want you to work through them and I want you to explain it. And then that could just be for me. I don't necessarily need other students interacting with that unless you want them to. That's kind of a lot of it is really based on what you want. Yes. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go back here. So we go to edit. So if I wanted to leave you a vibe, so that's a featured educator comment seen by all students, right? So like, what's like a common vibe you could put like, yeah, so it'd be like, yeah. So because I left this as a vibe and I put doing awesome, everybody sees that I left that on that video, right? So that's a good way of like building morale within your students, right? Letting them know, hey, you're doing great, and I want everybody to know how great you're doing. And then what was the other one that you said? Yes, sorry. Right. Right, yeah. Okay, so down here, video, so this would be a like right here, so you can like the video based on that, right? But if I wanted to send Amanda a quick video reply, I would just click, let me go back there and show you guys. Right here, this reply button, I would click that, and then I could record my own video saying, you know, great job, Amanda. I think you did really well. Thank you for paying attention and following instructions. And I would just do next, take my selfie, and then just do it that way. So then now, put video feedback and submit that. And so now that's visible and everybody can see the reply that I left for Amanda, right? Yeah. Right here is if I just want to show, if I just want, okay. So this one right here is if everybody can see the feedback I leave Amanda, right? I can reply and everybody sees the feedback I left her. But if you want one that's only available only to the person who sent it in, then you click right here for this video feedback, and that might be something like if you're going to have like actual critiques or ways for them to do better next time or to fix this, then that might be where you leave the feedback that's only visible to them, right? So it kind of just depends on what you're looking for, and again, just however you want to run your class. We've got about 9 minutes left, and there is a ton. And like honestly, everybody, there is like so much, so much. Whenever it comes to this stuff, what I do want you guys to do is, whenever we did our pop-up PD, we created, and let me go ahead and show you guys what this looks like. Where is our flip code? Pop-up Flipgrid 19. Let's see. So if I'm gonna enter that code here, and this is what I want to share with you all, because what we did when we created that pop-up PD is because there's so much that goes into Flipgrid. Like there are so many different features and activities that you can do with it. What we did is we split up the different features that there were, and we each did a video explaining what this feature was and how it could be used, right? So what you would do is, whenever I'm going to give you access to this, guys, what you would do is you would go down, you would select the different topics, and then you want to look for the one that has the star beside it, because that's the top, or that's the video that's giving you instruction, or that's letting you know how this works. So like, this is Mandy Hinojos discussing the whiteboard and blackboard feature. So on each of the different topics, you want to look for the one that has the star next to it, because that's one of us, one of the technology specialists, going a little bit more in detail, in depth about how this different topic or how this different feature can be used and accessed. We also did a bunch of attachments on there so that you can kind of continue your learning by yourself or on your own. I just want to make sure that you guys have enough that that you are able to do as much as you possibly can with Flipgrid without having to kind of rely on speaking with us constantly about it, so that you're able to kind of like continue your learning on your own. So really quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here on your Flipgrids. On here, actually, what I'll do is I'm going to drop this into the chat, and then in your Flipgrid, either download the app or go to the website, and where it says for your flip code to add it, you're going to add this one, pop-up Flipgrid 19, and that's where you're going to add that. Let me go to the chat, and I am going to copy and paste this so that everybody can get to it. So that is the pop-up PD that we did. That's the presentation, and that gives you access. So you'll get access to that flip code. And then it also is going to show you different ways that other people have used Flipgrid, in this one right here. So the big thing you want to look at is this, where how people have used Flipgrid, and then this, where you can get the flip code, because that's going to allow you to join that Flipgrid that we created that gives you a little bit more information on how Flipgrid works and the different things that you can do with it. So that's everything on our end. If you guys have any questions, hang around. You can ask them very quickly, and we will hang out for a little bit to make sure we answer those. Yes. Okay.
Because someone was asking about that, and I was trying to put the link in there, and I didn't get the link right. So he can just show you.
Oh, on like the actual Flipgrid.
Yeah, on the actual Flipgrid.
Yeah. So if you go to flipgrid.com, and right here, if you go to resources, you would click resources, and that's got a ton of stuff as well. You can go down here. And also, because Flipgrid has been, I mean, their whole business model and everything they do is has a lot to do with remote learning. So they've been one of the people that have really kind of stepped up. And so they've got a whole thing dedicated to remote learning. So you can click that as well. And they can give you some more ideas and some more ways that they've been used, that Flipgrid's been used during this time where we're all kind of relying on remote learning a lot more than we have in the past. Right. And I can send us, I can link those as well. Okay, yeah. Did you add it already to the chat?
Yeah.
Where's it at? Oh, right here. Okay, cool. And so we have been keeping up a website that has a lot of resources. There are two parts of it. There's for teachers and for parents, right? And sometimes that blends in. A lot of times our teachers are our parents. So there's both sides for you guys. So if you go to for teachers, this has a lot of different resources and different ways, different tools that you might be able to use. So make sure that you look at the tabs right here. So recording lessons, EdTech learning tools, EdTech resources, and then there's also more, right? So we've got an FAQ. We've also got professional learning schedule, and that is what we're doing right now, is the professional part of the professional learning. Here are the different platforms. And let's see. I wonder why it didn't. Let me go here. There we go. I hate how small these laptops are. Okay, that is the hyperlink for you guys. So if you want to click that one, then that will take you directly to the EdTech website that we've created and that we're keeping up running. We're also going to be updating that pretty regularly throughout this whole time. So check that pretty regularly, and also let us know, reach out to one of us or your specialist. Let us know if you have any questions or if you're having trouble with anything that we can help out with, because we'd be more than happy to do that. So thank you guys very much for attending. We really, really appreciate it. And we hope that this helps a little bit while we're all kind of trying to band together and do all that we can. Well, completely unprecedented situation, but I think we're doing really well, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out of all of this busyness to do this, to participate in this. So thank you guys very much. Y'all have a great day and have a great weekend. We'll hang out if anybody has any questions, but if not, then y'all are good to go.
Chris, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I was looking at the Hangout, the Google Hangout. So when I'm giving instructions to my kids, can I just use Google Hangout and have them visible where I can see them and they can see me?
Yeah, I mean
Like,
that's an option.
okay,
And
because
we're gonna get resource. Google Hangout is something that we're gonna rely on quite a bit, and so we are putting together resources to go over and help you all. We'll get those resources out as quickly as possible to kind of help you guys whenever it comes to setting up a Google Hangout and how to coordinate that with your students. So be on the lookout for that, definitely.
okay, thank you so much. I
Oh, yeah, no,
appreciate
definitely.
it. Thank you. You all have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. And then, so whenever y'all are good, we will, let's see, go ahead and stop recording now.